He seems so hungry, so keen to venture forward into something dangerous, something unknown. Where does he hope this will lead him? And where does it come from? Am I bringing this out from him again? Maybe I should ask him what he's been up to. He's become fatter, and I've become thinner. Looking at us through the looking glass, we are not the warriors we used to be. Is that what he's longing back towards? Or is he trying to prove something to someone? I feel afraid. Dwerg are living close to civilization, looking for tools. This feels bad. Somehow they made this huge construct, this king, in the middle of this desert of white. Dead branches, dead trees, a place stuck in eternal winter. And now he's dead, stabbed by his own son. His powers seemed fueled by that gauntlet of his. It was intriguing, but oh, they were so much weaker than mine. I don't mind not taking it, since Roman doesn't want me to. But I wonder if that voice knows more. That voice. I believe it's the source of my powers. I must find out more. This is Red Moon Roleplaying.
You look to the horizon, worried Roman. You can't even see any silhouette of that being from before, so it must have traversed quite far already. But there is something coming towards you. Something on multiple dog sleds. As it comes closer, you start seeing on the lead dog sled there is a cowed figure, and beside her to the left and right, smaller little figures. It's the woman from before. It must be. It's the exact same looking sleds, the same looking individuals. They're riding towards you, but starting to slow once again when they see you. What do you two do?
I try to catch her attention. Oh, it's you.
Ah, yes, you two again. Well, maybe it's not such a coincidence. I've been following you. Glad to see you're still alive. I was a little concerned when I saw a great winged beast coming straight from where you two were heading.
Yes, it is heading for Easthaven, I'm afraid. Well, to some of the other towns first. It's coming to destroy it. We have to try and go and stop it.
That's right. And you like finding your lost expeditioneer?
No, none at all. However, I have a proposition for you. I am more than happy to accompany you back to Easthaven and aid you in your problem. Something tells me you might need the powers of a wizard in what you're up to if you want to stop whatever that was. Do you have any idea what it was?
It's a dragon made of chardelin, if I understand it correctly.
Well, that is absolutely fascinating. A dragon made of chardelin. What a novel idea. I'm not sure how you do that. Anyway, I'm willing to come and offer my services. With one condition.
Oh, what's that?
I'd like the two of you to do something for me, and I'd like you to be willing to listen to my proposition without any bias. If so, I'm more than happy to waive any payment for using my services to aid your town, and I'm sure you're going to need it.
Certainly, as long as it's nothing nefarious or against the will of the Thunder.
I fiddled with my bridle, impatiently waiting for her to put forth her terms.
I'm not sure it will defend Lathander or not. I'm afraid I don't really care about what the gods want, but I assure you I'm not going to get you to do anything nefarious. How's that?
Well, that's good enough for now.
I'll just put it forth. What is it then? What do you want?
We don't have time to talk about it now. As your friend said, I'm pretty sure you have pressing concerns. So let us go. Come.
Yes, let's go. And we push our axe beaks to move as quickly as we can. We're in a rush.
You begin moving forwards. You notice quickly enough that the tracks that this woman has made coming to you have actually cleared a lot of snow, meaning your going is actually a little quicker. That seems very fortuitous. Perhaps she was aware of this and is factoring this into helping you out.
Yes, I think of that. There must be something more behind all this. But I'm sure we will hear about that in her proposal. We will learn more about what she's really doing here.
Indeed. And you begin riding as fast as you can. But it's still a long journey, Roman. Even you can't suddenly teleport back home. It took you 6 hours to get here. Even riding hard, it's going to still take maybe 4 hours, 5. You're riding, but after 2 or 3 hours, you're starting to feel concerned. Especially when on the very far horizon, you see not 1, but 2 pillars of black smoke rising into the air. How are you feeling?
Worried. Very, very worried. We're not gonna make it on time. Come faster.
I feel my not being used to ride is definitely straining my muscles and giving me chafes and sores, especially since that fight. My body still hurts. I think I might have a cracked rib or something. I know my legs were singed. It's very uncomfortable riding, but I try to just grit my teeth and be onwards. Let's get there then.
And you ride, and time passes and the darkness gets even worse. It's approaching evening now. Okay, it's been maybe just another hour, Roman. And then you see smoke. Again. A 3rd pillar of smoke. Right in front of you. But you're still not quite there yet.
I feel despair. But I'm not going to give up hope. We can perhaps still make a difference. I can perhaps still save Kaliana.
I'm hurting, Roman. Is there anything you can do to alleviate this pain?
What? I look... What pain?
I'm bloody burnt all over my legs, and this chafing in the saddle doesn't help.
I can, yes, but we might need to stop. I hold in my axe beak just briefly to cast Cure Wounds, and I shall do so on level 2.
And you do so, beginning to heal Roshek, on the move almost. But you do notice that the wizard and her retinue suddenly start getting ahead of you quite a bit, and every second you've stopped, you're thinking of Kaliana, you're thinking of the smoke on the horizon.
And you get back 8 points.
That will do. Thank you. All right. Sorry.
And I again do like a yah on my axe beak to get it to, again, move towards Easthaven post-haste.
And finally, pushing ahead and making a 6-hour journey 5 hours, you begin finally on the horizon to see Easthaven burning. Roman, Easthaven is burning. There are several fires, the black smoke leading into the sky. You look up, you can't see anything. It's too dark now. The wind is picking up, but you can hear the sounds. That's something, right?
Yes. There's still people left alive. Perhaps we can still do something. I look up to the skies to try to see if this winged being, if it's still here, is it still attacking the town, or has it left?
You can't tell. You can't see anything. But it's almost night now, so you wouldn't be able to anyway. It's completely dark up there.
I must see. Once we reach the walls, I shall cast daylight in the air to try to light the place up a little bit more. perhaps give our archers a chance to shoot at the being.
Tell you what, before you cast a spell, roll a perception check.
That is 16.
You squint. You think you see something moving. It must be very, very high up. Very high up. You're not sure. Daylight will help, at least not right now while you're moving. You'd have to stop and actually focus on where you're pointing that daylight.
Yes, perhaps there. Perhaps there will be good. I shall cast daylight. It's a 60-foot radius of light spreads out from a point. It shines a dim light for an additional 60 feet.
So, as you reach the gates, before you even look at what's going on in Easthaven, you extend your hand in the air and shine very high up, 60 feet up, a glowing ball of light. And the light sky lights up, almost like a small sun, and you just see the tip of a great being fly through the light and then gone again. Unfortunately, your light does not move, but this being does. But it is there, somewhere high in the sky, circling.
It is. I look for the guards. Do they see us?
Well, as you ride up to the gates, the first thing that greets your eyes is the destruction of the gates, and the whole left side of the Great Wall of Easthaven. Before you is destruction. Lines of it. It's not everywhere, but the first thing that comes to mind is the concept that streaks of lightning and fire have just sort of spread across the town in lines. 2, at least. You look to see the ballistas and see one of them is no more but a smouldering ruin. You see men and women running around, alarms, screams, and then as you charge through the gates with your retinue, you see Captain Imdra sort of at the front line, just sort of glancing over like, "Ah! Quick! You two! Quick! To a wall! To cover! Get to cover!"
Yes, and I begin trying to get into cover.
I dismount my axe beak and lead it to where we can take cover. I'm assuming this being is going to dive down.
That seems to be the assumption, Roshek, but right now it's not. You're not sure why that is, but then again, you know how flying beings work, or at least every flying being you've encountered before this. Hunting patterns, and keeping away from danger and all that.
How can we get it down? How can we get it down to fight it?
Perhaps the ballista, the other ballista, it's still operational, right? Right, Captain Imdra?
The captain comes over. She has a bit of a wound on her side as she looks at you a bit confused. What? Wait! You two, where have you been? And what happened with the Dwagar? What's happening? Are they coming?
No, they are not coming. They are not a threat anymore. There's been a change in power. This being, it was dispatched by the previous king. It's made of charlatan, and it's very, very dangerous, as you have no doubt discovered.
You're telling me, Roman, it has already attacked twice. Thank the gods, it seems to take... It doesn't seem to be able to fire that horrific beam constantly. There's that, but it's already attacked twice, and it's still there, and we've managed to evacuate most people to the town hall. You know how it is. It's taken out one of the ballistas. We still... She points to one of the other ballistas. There's still one remaining, but again, it's too far up. You need to be really lucky to get a hit, although what you've done might help. And who's this? Don't you worry, madam. I'm here to help. Let's see what I can do. How about town hall, did you say? I'll make my way there. I can set up some protective wards. After all, a town hall is most tempting a target to a dragon. God, it's a dragon, but wait, Roman, you said it's made of charlatan, so it's not a real dragon.
No, it is some kind of construct. I'm not quite sure how it works, but it has been put together with that, well, infernal material.
I see.
Do you have anything we can use to drag it down? If we shoot something up, some kind of net or anything?
We don't have the kind of net to deal with that, no.
Perhaps we can hit it with a ballista, but maybe force it down and then... But it's so big, I don't see how the two of us can take it out. Perhaps... What do we have in the town? We need to... We need to destroy it. What about the oil? What about the oil reserves? What if we lure it there and just blow it up?
What? Roman, I mean... You see her pause. I mean, that could work, but we need the oil.
But we do, but there's not going to be much of a town left if we don't stop this thing soon.
She looks concerned and says, how would we lower the beast in that direction? It would need to be lowered there. It's not just going to randomly decide to go in that direction.
No, perhaps if we hit it with a ballista just right. Or we can have someone be bait, I guess, and I look towards Roshek.
What do we have? What is it out for? Do you still have your own piece of chardlin?
What? Why are you talking about chardlin right now?
Because that's what it's made of. Why is it here? To gather more?
I don't know. It's just destroying everything. We heard some rumours just before it arrived, but we had no time to react. That apparently it may have already attacked some places. Did you see anything on the road?
Yeah, several pillars of smoke. There's, yeah, I suppose it's just trying to do some work of its actually dead master.
It was supposed to stop in Dugan's Hall in Goodmead before this. We saw a map of its flight path. It must have already gotten through those cities.
The captain is generally looking at you quite panicked, willing to listen, but you can tell this is a very high-tense situation. And again, men and women, militia women are running around. You can hear the cries of people from somewhere. Roman, you already know. People have died. You can feel it.
Yes, and more will die if we cannot put a stop to this. I will try to man the ballista. Rosha, can you try to think of some way of, perhaps, I don't know, luring it towards the warehouse that holds the oil? If we blow that up, I'm sure that we can take it out.
Right. Just how do we get it down? You say it's firing some sort of beam.
Yes, it's dragon's breath. It's doing what dragons do, I suppose. I have never fought one before.
Fire, then. Fine. I'll try and lure it there, I suppose.
And we split up. I start running for the still working ballista.
Roman, you begin running to that ballista, clambering up quickly to try and climb onto the stairs that lead to it. And you're there! The old ballista. It doesn't have many shots. You see 2, maybe 3 large steel-like arrows, although it's better to call them spears, really. One's already loaded in. You've never used a ballista before, but maybe you can work out how it works. It seems to have levers, aiming.
Yes. How complicated can it be? And I begin trying to aim the ballista towards the sky, towards this being, hoping that it will appear.
And after a few seconds, once again, you see a moment where in the sky you see the outline of that being as it flies once again into your light. What do?
As soon as I see it in the light, if I think I can hit it, I will fire one of the spears.
Roll your attack.
23.
That's a hit. Roll damage.
9.
You aim in the sky and fire a ballista bolt into this being, and you actually somehow manage to hit it. Luckily for you, the range of ballista is supposed to be quite long range. It does just manage to hit the being, the bolt going through its side. That doesn't seem to do much else other than that, though.
Damn it, this isn't gonna work. It isn't powerful enough. I begin trying to think of, is there any way that I can make these spears more powerful, more potent, or do I need to try to launch my guiding bolt at it? I mean, I can do that. But then there's no point in being here.
Yes, although you do think to yourself, maybe if you aimed just when it was a little further down, that might be a bit better for you. After all, right now it is 60 feet above you, circling around a very large area. Roshek, you have begun making your way to this storehouse area. You are being directed by about 5 or 10 militia folk. You do also notice that you catch up with this woman. She's taken her hood down because now with the fire everywhere it is actually quite hot. And she has revealed herself to be a very old woman, maybe her 60s, 70s, her hair tightly up in a white bun, and an eye patch over one eye. You see her making her way to the town hall, but, well, you could call out to her if you wanted.
Hello, sleigh rider. Valen?
Yes. The half-orc. Yes, have you got a plan? I was heading towards the town hall, but where are you lot all heading to?
The idea was to bring it closer to the storage of whale oil and then hope to explode it all in his face. I don't know. How do we get something like this down? Do you have Can you bring something down?
Well, I don't think I can bring something down, but, well, oh my, bring it to... Well, I suppose I could do a little something, like I could distract it, but I don't know if that's going to help you.
Well, distraction is always something, but how do we lure it? What is it like?
Well, noise, movement. I've never met a Chardlin dragon before, but most dragons are... like killing things, eating things, that sort of thing.
Well, isn't that bloody amazing, I say, and I look at my fellow soldiers. Come on, let's try and lure these things down. Have pikes, if you've got pikes, bring those.
The captain is with you, Roshek. She nods and says, wait, Mistress... Wizard, god damn it. Can you do that thing where you make lights or noise? Well, darling, of course I can. I am a wizard. Then do that. Help us. Make a distraction like that. Roshek, if she is able to make a little bit of lights, then maybe that can draw its attention, and then we can lead it there, and... How are we going to blow up the place quickly?
Fires, torches, I mean a sudden explosion. How does whale oil ignite?
Flame. You're right. Two of you, go and get flames. You can see a great hesitancy when she initially seems quite excited at the blowing up, and then you see a pained expression.
Don't worry. It's better. The other towns, the ones that are not attacked yet, if we bring this down now, they can help us.
And so you begin making your way to the storage building, and you reach it! There it is. It doesn't look much, just a standard-looking storage building made of wood and stone. But there are great barn-like doors, and as some folk go to open them for you, Roshik, you do see in front of you barrels and barrels of what you assume is whale oil. You think the fire placed in correct spots, at the right moment, it would just need a spark to go off.
Good. You there, and you there. Be ready to ignite at that place and that place, and then you better bloody well throw yourself on the ground. You over there, you have pikes if we get the things down, alright? And we're gonna stab it with all we got. I look up towards the sky.
Again, you can't see much, but again, for a moment you think you see this great draconic being come into view again. The light. There it is. It's getting lower.
I'm going to try and channel out eldritch blasts. One in each hand. One forms yellow and one forms warm orange. And I'm going to throw them at it, trying to grab its attention.
Roshek, please have your turn. Roll your attacks as you suddenly up in the air, thanks to the light of Roman, can see it just for a few seconds. You think to yourself it could be up even higher. There's only one reason you can now see it this low. It's getting ready to come once again. You can feel it.
Alright, I feel the pulsating energy in my hands. And as soon as it is what I would deem reachable, maybe even before then, just to do something, I'll start throwing out my beams and blasts towards it.
Excellent, roll your attack.
18.
That is a hit, roll damage.
It's 9 force damage. And as I feel that first beam connect, I feel how many times I've tried to reach from my bed, sickly, towards the sword. And I give a yank, and I pull the creature down 10 feet towards me, using my eldritch invocation of Grasp of Hadar.
You suddenly extend great eldritch tentacles straight up into the air. It's quite a sight. They do not, of course, completely cover this being, because this being is huge. But that's not what you needed to do. You just grab one of its arms and just sort of begin pulling it down like that. It does actually stop in the air, letting out a surprised and then furious, grating, mechanical screech. You've definitely got his attention.
My next roll is a 12.
Your second attack does not hit. Probably because you are expending so much time casting this spell.
Well, that's what I needed. It sees us now.
Indeed it does. Roman, you suddenly see, nearby, because by luck, it actually turns out that the ballista you're on, and the storehouse where Roshik and everyone else has gone, is not that far away. It's actually within 60 feet of you. Anywhere else, and obviously you would not be able to hit. But with the ballista, you see the being is being dragged down to this area. Although Roshik really has got his attention now. You could maybe, if you just aim for the wings, maybe that would be a better place to fire the ballista.
I shall do that. I have loaded another spear, and I try to aim as carefully as I can before I let the spear go this time, hoping to hit it in the wings, perhaps getting it to crash, so that the militia can take care of it, and we can perhaps do something with that whale oil. And I fire.
Roll your attack.
That is a 16.
You aim. You hit! But it goes through the wing. But it doesn't seem to have much effect. It doesn't cause it to crash down. Instead, it just sort of flaps its wings very angrily and then just lands. Boom! Roshek, a great, huge dragon, is now in front of you. As it crashes down, it takes 2 or 3 houses out with it, splinter and wood flying through the air. It unfurls its wings, looks down at you with a great head. The head does not have a mouth, or rather, it does not have a traditional mouth. Instead, it's almost like instead of a mouth, it has a grill, like an oven as a mouth. 2 yellow eyes glow violently. And you have a few seconds to think to yourself. You got its attention. As a great beam begins to charge up from within it. Roshek, before we fall into an actual initiative order, you are allowed to do one thing. It's close to the storage house, but not close enough. It's about to fire. You don't think it's going to hit the storage house, but it's definitely going to hit a lot of things, including you. What do you try and do?
Am I standing here with the guards as well? They're in the risk of getting hit by this spleen.
Yes, and they are not going to have much time. You see the captain just sort of shouting some orders as many men and women try their best to move, so they're not all in one area. But there's no time to warn them. You only have time to do something yourself. Seconds.
I feel like the only thing I can do is get myself out of the way.
Correct.
And so I will cast Dimension Door to teleport myself into the house up to the entrance. The house with the whale oil.
Very well. You cast Dimension Door, a shimmering portal between reality appearing before you. You step through. Seconds pass, and you appear just by the entrance to the whale oil storage house as a gigantic beam of radiant energy. It's not like fire, Roshek. It's more like Roman's powers, but not the same. This beam of energy disintegrates 7, 8, 10 people before your very eyes and continues through 5, 6, 7, 8 buildings, instantly engulfing them in flame as they begin to collapse. The noise is intense, and you can't help but feel that if you'd stood there yourself, it would have been very dangerous. The being is now on the ground, a great beast. The time has come to roll for initiative.
9.
18.
The great Chandlin dragon considers you for a moment, Roshek. It doesn't say anything, but you feel this strange energy coming from it. A strange keening sound in the air. For a moment, you feel as if something is coming over you, but then you hear a voice in your ear say, "No, he's mine. Find your own plaything." And you're fine. But you notice around you quite a few of the militia are sort of clutching their heads, falling to the ground, looking confused. Still, you see the captain and some other people coming from another point of view, from a street from the right, about 20 people with crossbows. They begin firing bows, arrows into this being's side. Most of them aren't doing anything at all, but one or two are at least going in. Surely that gives you something. But then it doesn't seem to matter. The being turns its head to these individuals. It swings its tail, its gigantic, crystalline tail, smashing through these people. Another 10, 15 people just vanish. You can't see what's happening to them. It then looks towards you, and with its wings, suddenly just sort of bats the air. The very power of the air itself being what damages you here as debris starts flying towards you. It hits. You take 12 bludgeoning damage as various things fly into you. Wood, people. You kind of stumble back even further into the storehouse.
I throw up my hands to shield my eyes, and I feel splinters. Just jagged splinters piercing through the cloth.
And then another claw. Looks like it's going to attack you, but it's almost like it's sensing something. Another claw descends straight upon Captain Indra. She flies through the air, letting out a wail of pain as she clashes into some buildings on the side. But she sort of manages to pick herself up again. She's not dead, but she's been very badly wounded, you think to yourself. She can't take much more of that. You then see from behind you beams of light, purple little orbs of power, magic missiles. You're familiar with this spell. It's a standard spell, even for most spellcasters. It's from the wizard. She's come forward. She looks quite the sight, silhouetted by fire all around, but she is firing these orbs of energy. They do hit the being, causing bits of it to fly off ever so slightly. Roman. It's all happening so fast. The being, it's so close, but it's actually landed. It's more than you could have ever imagined. That attack it did was devastating. So many people are dying, and you're at this ballista. You can shoot at the ballista, but is that going to help? Maybe you can get there in time? What about the people dying? What about Kaliana? Where even is she? What do you do? Everything is very panicked right now.
It is. Well, I have this ballista here. I shall fire upon this being one last time. Hopefully I can maybe get it to focus on me, and then maybe they can escape. Maybe I can save some lives. And I fire the ballista one last time, if there's still spears.
There is. Roll your attack.
That is 19.
That is a hit. Roll damage.
18.
You aim. You fire, praying to Lathander. And you aim at its head. You aim for one of the eyes. You can't believe you make the shot. But you do. You fire a harpoon bolt straight into one of its eyes. Tell me how you're feeling.
I feel hopeful. Yes, we can do this. We can do it. Surely it cannot take this kind of punishment for long. We can still save Easthaven, I think to myself. But what happens?
It staggers back, but still it stands. It turns, tilted on an axis slightly. It moves into the air. It doesn't quite take off properly. It does seem to be flying around a little bit, but it does sort of go up over the storehouse above your head, Roshek. But unfortunately, it's its turn. And somehow, that energy glows again. Isn't that sort of thing supposed to take some time to recharge? Roman, you see the direction it's pointed in. It's pointed at your home. It's going to fire. There's nothing you can do, Roman. How do you feel?
No, there must be something. There must be something I can do.
The beam fires. Great hot radiant energy surging towards that whole part of the city. It goes up in flames, disintegrating, gone. Rorschach, you see around you, some of the militia are starting to come towards you. There's a strange look in their eyes. They're looking at you like they're drawing weapons. They're not at you yet, but it's very strange. You see the captain shouting orders from somewhere, but you can feel it. There is a presence on them. They are going to attack you, but they're not there yet. The being seems quite happy with what it's doing above you, having moved and fired. Again, some arrows come from another place, and the being descends right next to the storehouse. You're not sure what's happening in front of the storehouse, but it is killing. You hear screams, you hear death, but you have avoided its attention. It's your turn, Rorschach. It's there. But so are you. And so are many other people starting to come towards you. What do you do?
I feel like if they come close enough, I might be able to send them out of their stupor so they can help me instead. But it's also this one chance, this moment of it being so close to the house. If I can just hit it again and then pull it in here, then maybe that will be it's close enough to us to be able to destroy it with an explosion.
You see Velen kind of come to your side for a moment and say, "Well, my boy, if you're going to do something right now, would be the best time to do it. Get it in. I can get it done. We need to take care of those people. Oh, goodness me, this is most inconvenient. Kobolds!" You see a dog sled of kobolds. That's right, kobolds. They're in little cloaks. They're what the things were with her. They are kobolds, little small reptilian dragonoid beings. But they charge in on a little sled and just sort of barrel through some of these people, sending them out of the way in confusion. Velen charges towards the sled herself, getting some distance from the building. She looks at you, Rorschach, and says, "Just get it in there now! This is the moment!"
I throw both my hands in the air. I feel the crackling energy shape in my palms, and I throw it out towards it. I'm gonna try and rein it in.
Roll your Eldritch Blast.
The first one I roll is 14.
You hit, but it's not enough. It's not enough, Rorschach. It's not working.
It's not getting tangled. I'm not able to get at it. And my next one is a 9.
It doesn't work. You can't get it forwards. Except then, it sort of looks at you. You feel very soon it's going to charge, but Roman, it's your turn.
And I am gripped by this intense anger and this hatred for what this being has done. I scream out in rage and I unleash a guiding bolt, just trying to deal as much damage as I possibly can on this being.
Yes, Roman, roll your attack.
13 plus 6. 19.
That is a hit. You send a guiding bolt straight towards this being. Roll damage.
The damage is 26.
And you hit it with all your might and power. But it dissipates. You remember. Of course, this thing is made of darkness. It's strong against the radiant energy. However, it does stagger a little and just put one arm into the storehouse. Rorschach. It's in the storehouse. It looks its head down towards you. You feel it is about to leap from the storehouse onto you, and you will probably die. But roll me a dexterity check.
11.
The being crushes through the storehouse, oil spilling everywhere, barrels starting to come done, but this is still not enough to cause a spark unimaginable. The being comes towards you, and its tail swishes through the air. And despite everything, you just hear Velen scream, "Duck, young man!" And you do. and the entire tail just swings through the air, crashing through what remains of the buildings in this area, but missing you entirely. It then quickly turns back again, and this time tries to swipe at you with a claw. And sadly, this time you feel a great claw descend upon you. You take 14 slashing damage.
And as I do, as it slashes across me, opening up, tearing through the leather jerkin as if it were butter, I feel something pulling me, and I turn into mist. Using my misty escape, I teleport 60 feet out of the warehouse and remain invisible until the start of my next turn.
You vanish into mist, moving quite far away. Roman, you're there. You see figures. You're not really sure what's going on, but you know that that being is there right now in that storehouse. All it needs is a spark. What do you do?
This time I do not aim for the being. I see the whale oil. I see that it is right where we wanted it. And I still have this hatred that's filling me, this worry for Kaliana, for the destruction of our home. And I unleash a guiding bolt, hoping to explode all of the whale oil reserves in that warehouse and hopefully take that being with it.
You fire. You don't need to roll. It's a massive target after all. The whale oil ignites. There is a gigantic explosion of fire and energy engulfing the entire being. You hear a great screech of metal, a dying breath of a great being. As the being topples to the side, a great gaping hole having been blown in it. In fact, the whole area is a bit of a crater. Roshek, as you appeared from the mists, a good distance away, but still close enough to see what's going on, you kind of fall to the ground. Smoke, fire. But you think the being is down. You see the wizard, and the sled seems to have been thrown through the air slightly, but these little kobolds are attending this woman who called herself Velen. The beast is dead. And yet all around you are the sounds of fires, screams of pain. Roman, you're still on the wall, but you can see the scene before you. The whale oil house has been completely destroyed, as has quite a large amount of Easthaven. You can hear the pained screams of the dying on the air. What do you do?
I begin rushing down. I must find Kaliana. And I begin just trying to run up to any guards I can see if I can find Captain Imdra.
You reach a guardswoman. She's looking a bit shell-shocked. I think we've done it. I think we've done it. Haven't we?
We have stopped it. We've stopped it. Listen to me. This is very important. Where's Kaliana? Where's the cleric of Ilmater?
The town hall, I think.
Oh, of course she would be there. That's where everyone has gone. Thank you. And I begin rushing off towards the town hall.
Roshek, there you are, before a great deal of fire and flame. You see people around you dead, people calling out in pain. You think you see the image of Captain Imdra. She's bleeding heavily, but she's sort of staggering around, trying to give commands to people. You see this wizard, who did seem to help a little out in the end, you guess. You're not quite sure how much, but there she is, dusting herself off, and there's you. How are you feeling in all this noise?
Adrenaline is shooting through my veins. I barely register the pain of the slash across my chest. Cold sweat is running down from the exertion over my face. My furs are bloody. I just stand there and I just take it all in. And it feels like, how could this possibly all have happened over just one day? Yesterday, I arrived here as Shell. Today, we slain a Dwerger king, and a magnificent, really, construct that already had taken down 2 of the villages before this one. All around me. It's swirling, it's circling all around me. Is this what I attract? Is this what I brought here? I start moving towards the thing, feeling the heat of the flames. It's almost nice. And I know that this village is going to suffer greatly when it wakes up without the heat.
The night is illuminated, for now, with much fire, as one man rushes to the town hall through the chaos, and another stands, calmly watching the night sky.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we played Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frostmaiden, for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. The music was created by Flowers for Body Snatchers, Ugasanye, Wordclock, and Metatron Omega, and was used with permission from their label Cryochamber. Check them out at cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for more dark ambient. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon, Martin Heuschober, Nastasia Raulerson, Simon Cooper, David, Julia, and David Hagberg for their generous support. And we would of course like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, this show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for Cult of Divinity Lost and Coriolis there, as well as get early and raw access to all of our recordings. You can also hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play Cult with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. May Lathander protect you, and fill the world with light.